There's been another violent incident in Israel. A young woman was killed in a stabbing rampage that hurt two other people. A suspect was shot by a security officer. It's not clear, though, whether that suspect died. It happened at a hitchhiking post in a town about 25 kilometers south of Jerusalem. The attack follows another stabbing incident that killed a soldier with the Israeli Defense Forces. The stabbing of that soldier happened near a Tel Aviv train station today, further inflaming an already tense situation in the Middle East. The soldier suffered multiple stab wounds to the lower part of his body and was rushed to hospital, where he later died of his wounds. A Palestinian suspect was arrested at the scene. There have been clashes across Israel and the Palestinian territories in recent days, in large part due to friction over access to a disputed holy site. All right, let's bring in Emanuele Ottolenghi. He's a senior fellow with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. They are a nonpartisan policy institute based in Washington. Otto, good to have you on the program. And I want to ask you this. Two Israeli soldiers, including one soldier, have now died in different knife attacks. What do you expect the response to this to be here?
I don't think that the Israeli government wishes to escalate this situation. As tragic and unfortunate as these incidents are, they do not pose a strategic threat yet to the state, but they are, of course, a very serious cause of concern because they're random, they're hard to catch and to preempt, and even if the number of casualties compared to past experiences of terrorism in Israel is fairly low, of course they create a sense of insecurity for people trying to live, to lead their everyday life. I mean, the fact that you can be run over by a car driven by a terrorist, you can be stabbed at a bus stop, all of these things contribute to the sense of insecurity of the public, and so the government will have to do something to address this. Of course, part of the problem is that on the other side of the fence in the Palestinian territories, the Palestinian Authority on the one hand and Hamas on the other is really not, they're really not doing what they're supposed to do in order to A, dissociate themselves from these actions, and B, call for restraint and use the kind of language which would condemn and isolate these types of action. There is a sense that on that side there is, if not full-fledged complicity, at least a kind of tacit approval.
And Emanuele, I want to ask you this. I mean, in the larger picture, we're seeing these what appear to be isolated attacks. You've got an Arab-Israeli population of about 20–25% within Israel itself. There are people who are worried these are signs of a coming intifada going on in the Palestinian territories, intifada. And I want to get your take on whether you think these are isolated incidents or a sign of something worse to come.
Well, look, I mean, you experienced something horrifying and tragically similar in Canada recently with a so-called isolated lone wolf attack with a shooting rampage that caused the death of a soldier. The problem with treating these as isolated incidents, of course, is that it assumes that nobody is either inspiring or encouraging these type of actions. I mean, people do not wake up in the morning, wield a knife and decide to go and kill somebody at a bus stop because they feel upset. It is the result of brainwashing, of incitement, of indoctrination. So the problem really goes to the root of the matter, which is not so much the isolated incidents, but the atmosphere in which these incidents are allowed to occur. The problem with the Palestinian response to these incidents is precisely this. The Palestinian Authority, Hamas, and generally speaking, public opinion in the Palestinian territories do not see these actions and these acts in a disapproving way. The people who carry out these attacks, whether they're acting alone or are being sent by organizations to carry out these attacks, are treated as heroes. They're treated as role models in their own society. And that is really the root of the problem, and that is why if these attacks continue, the likelihood of an escalation seems to be inevitable.
Emanuele Ottolenghi coming to us from Washington. Good to have you on the program, sir. Thank you for this.
Thank you.